Hi, I'm Alan R from MotorMatters. Welcome to another video. Have you subscribed to the channel yet? Hit that subscribe button now to make sure you see the latest, the greatest, the newest and the best in South African motoring, and you'll be the first to see it. What have we got here today? Hyundai South Africa, the i20. Been around for a long time. It's been one of their best sellers for a long time as well, with good reason. B segment hatchback. But this one's not just a normal i20, because that little badge over there says a lot. Sadly, it's not the full N, it's N line, which tells you it's an i20 with lots of extra bits and pieces and trim items. You have a look at the blacked out grille, it immediately speaks business. This low splitter at the front, also blacked out. And of course you've got LED headlights, and you've got Hyundai's boomerang daytime running lights running around. So it's little cues like that that tell you that this is the sporty model in the range. You come around to the side, very interesting, unusual alloy wheels over here on a 16-inch wheel, which again for a smallish B segment hatchback, a 16-inch is a good size wheel. Contrasting black roof if you have a look, and of course blacked out mirrors. The blacked out speaks and repeats a number of times on this sportier model. So while we're about it, let's take a look at the back seat. Now I'm coming in on the passenger side for once, so the seat is set a little bit further back than where I would normally sit. You can see the driver's seat set for me, but the legroom is decent to fair for a B segment hatch. Headroom is decent as well. I'm not complaining, and you've got aircon vents and a single USB in the back. Inline gives you full leather trim, and you'll notice of course all the red accents all around it. And while I'm about it, just look there, Bose sound system. These are the extras you get on the N-line version, and I think that's important to note. Obviously the Bose telling you it's an upgraded sound system. Come around to the rear of the car, of course you've got a pretty sharp C-pillar over there. Very interesting little treatment over here on the rear hatch. Just looks sporty, and of course a nice spoiler on top. And you've got of course the light bar across the back. You are expecting the Allen test, aren't you? Before I do it, let's just take a look and tell you that there's a space saver spare wheel under there. There is a spare wheel, that's all I care about. And there's also a net over there to keep luggage in place. There is a flap or shelf which I've removed in order to do the Allen test for you. So let's take a look. Little bit of a ledge you've got to climb over, but not bad. I'd rate this as about a 1 1/4 to a 1 1/2 Allen boot. I'm going to give myself a bit of margin on this one for a change, but it's in that range. And of course, interestingly, and maybe a touch disappointingly at this level, the rear seat does fall down, but it's a single piece, not a split rear seat. Very unusual in today's day and age, I must tell you. Now, the i20 comes in 1.2, 1.4 flavor, 4 cylinders, or the N-line, interestingly, is a 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo. Puts out 90 kilowatts, 173 newton meters of torque through, in this model, the front wheels and a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Only transmission option available. The 1.2s and 1.4s you can get in manual, or the 1.4, sorry, you can get in manual auto, the 1.2 in manual only. Let's check it on the road. Let's have a look inside. Go. On the road in the i20 N-line, yeah. 90 kilowatts, 173 newton meters of torque out of this little 1 litre 3-cylinder turbo engine. It's one of those zooty little things at zippy. I'm going to press a little magic button right now, and I want to see if it makes a difference, because that's sport mode. Now what I can tell you is you should hear a little bit of a difference in the exhaust note when I do that. It just gives that tiny bit of extra kick to it. Not that you necessarily need it, but it just adds the fun factor as far as I'm concerned. 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission is a superb, lovely gearbox. You just never feel a gear shift at all. You've got your screen, you've got your connectivity, You've got everything you expect, and in this model you even get, of course, full leather trim. It just is for the young at heart, if not for the young driver. It's obviously the top model in the range at 467,000 Rand. You can think for yourself, you can go lower down in the range with the others at way lower prices as well. But I must say, this is the fun model in the range. And what else would we do except bring it out on the road to Hearties like we always do, so that I can show you exactly what it's like through the pass, through the mountains, through the twisties, and just on my favorite little piece of open road. Jumping in behind the wheel, let's take a look at the instrumentation, as we always do, digital of course. And let's see, 400 kilometers done on this test. Lot of urban driving, went to Hearties once, and look at that, 6.7 liters per 100. That's not bad at all. I must tell you, better than I expected. Now, N-Line also gives you features like keyless entry and push button start. You've got flappy paddles on the steering wheel. Yep, you really do, for that 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. And you do get cruise control only on the N-Line version as well. The other the other levels in the range do not give you that. Then there's one other little secret. I've got to just try and get to it for you. You see this button over here? It says drive mode. Unusual position for it, and I had to look for it for a while myself. But that gives you sport mode. And sport mode adds the fun when you're driving this car. For example, you just need to hear the exhaust note when you go into sport. Moving over to the infotainment screen, it's very basic, but it looks neat and it's very easy to work with. Note, wireless Android Auto. It's linked to my Android Auto straight away. There you are, nice and easy, nice and simple. While we're there, reverse camera, no overhead view, but it certainly gives you the rear view. That's what you want, that's what you need, and I'm perfectly satisfied with that. Another nice feature is notice a volume knob over there. Thank you for that, Hyundai. Come down, look at the dash with these sort of streaks across it that run from the ventilation right across in front of the front passenger over there as well. Neat, it looks good, and it feels well put together. It may be hard plastics a lot of the time, but it feels solid. Down over here, you've got your dual zone climate control. Again, nice and neat, works well. And yes, buttons for the climate control, or press like that to up the temperature, etc. Not just in the infotainment screen. Thanks for that, Hyundai. Over here, you've got two USBs, a USB-C over there and a USB-B, the old type, and a 12 volt. And that's an inductive charging pad over there. So that's a nice feature as well. And as I mentioned, wireless connectivity to Android Auto. Good old-fashioned type gear lever, but what's wrong with that? Works really well. That 7-speed dual clutch auto is smooth. It's nice. It works well. Does the job. I like it. And yes, an old-fashioned handbrake. Just the old type. I suppose if you want to do hooligan things like handbrake turns. I didn't tell you to do that, did I? Another feature on this car that's interesting compared to the market these days is you've just got a standard sunroof, not a panoramic roof. Interesting, not sure, but I don't think it matters. I think it's nice anyway. So the i20, everybody knows, is really a favorite and has been for so many years. There are not that many competitors in this B segment hatch category anymore. The VW Polo obviously stands out as the biggest one, or the main one, I suppose I could tell you. But they're around. We know the competition, but we also know the success of this model. The N-Line obviously comes in a lot more expensive, but it gives you a lot more. I've told you about the turbo engine with a lot more power, because you get 61 or 73 kilowatts out of the 1.2 or the 1.4, as opposed to the 90 out of this one. That's a big difference. The 7-speed dual clutch, as opposed to 6-speed manual or 6-speed torque converter. A big difference in my book. The N-Line is the only one with 6 airbags. The others only have 2 airbags. I mentioned cruise control, paddles. These are all items that are unique to the N-Line model as opposed to the others. So what are they going to cost you? That's the point, isn't it? Well, you can get into a 1.2 manual from 310,000 Rand, or you can get into a 1.4 executive auto for 340,000 Rand. Okay, this one is 467,000 rand. It is a lot more, but you're getting a lot more, I can tell you that much. This car falls into what I term the fun category. And when I talk the fun category, what am I comparing it to? And you're may agree or disagree with me, I don't care, my opinion. Suzuki Swift Sport, same kind of fun hand power. The Opel, also the top model in that range, that one comes into the game. I think you see where I'm going. And maybe a Polo GTI, but I know that puts out way more power than this, so I can't really use that as a comparison. And speccing one of those to this level will cost you more money. But this falls into what I call the fun hatch category. It's not a hot hatch, it's a warmish hatch, but it's a fun hatch. And of course you get things like Hyundai's 7-year warranty, you get a 4-year 60,000 kilometer service plan, all that included in the money you pay. Nice option. You're looking for a car in this category, you better take a look at this one. For MotorMatters, I'm Eleanor. See you next time.